Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Brian, and I'm here today to share a message with you guys. This is kind of just a quick video that I wanted to make. Really, just wanted to kind of give a brief outline of the overall message that I want to share with you guys. Um, so I'm going to try to make this brief, but ultimately, just an average person. Um, I ended up remembering an awful lot about just who I am, why I'm here, why I agreed to be here, what my goals were when I came here. Essentially, everything before I was incarnated, before I was born here. I remembered probably what I would think is at least 90% of that. Now, clearly, it's hard to say for sure. There's always room for other things that I don't remember. It's kind of hard to say for sure if I remembered everything if I don't remember. So I can't really put a for sure guess as far as like how much, but it feels like an awful lot. Enough to for sure approach my life differently, approach my life from a different perspective, and to basically live my life from a higher state of mind, from a better a point of view in which kind of gives me an advantage over that of my former self. So basically, I just want to share all the stuff that I remembered and kind of what's important and what stands out to me as being important. And I'm talking about myself here and what I've remembered, but it's not really about me so much as it is about all of us. And I say that because this is a message of oneness. This is a message of unity consciousness. This is a message of, as I know this identity, the only one who has always existed. It's a singular, shared identity of everyone and everything. It is literally the true identity behind everyone and everything, every event, every situation, good, bad, you name it. It is the all, it is the omnipotent, all encompassing, singular shared identity that, for all intents and purposes, to shorten the name, I will call the Absolute. So, this identity, the Absolute, this is your true identity. This is also my true identity. And so, from this perspective, clearly, if you can actually embody this perspective, and I don't mean just understand what I'm saying, knowing about it, right? We can talk about oneness all we want. We're all one world, one community. There's a lot, and I don't say that lightly, right? There's obviously there's people who mean well when they say these things, but at the same time, there's also a lot of I'm just gonna say there's a lot of bullshit, right? A lot of people out here talking out their ass. A lot of people talking bullshit, acting like they know what they're talking about, and they don't even know what they're saying. They're just saying whatever the hell they think is gonna get them liked. Talking about chosen ones, talking about shit that just pumps up their own ego, talking about stuff that's not benefiting anybody. It's certainly not raising the collective. And I don't know. I sit back and I remember all these things. I remember why I'm here, and I look around me and I see all these fake phonies spouting all this nonsense that has absolutely nothing to do with the truth behind everything. And to see people talking about oneness, yet talking about chosen ones, and essentially doing everything they can to pump up their own ego, it doesn't sit right with me, basically. Um, so that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm not a professional. I'm not somebody that has any experience with this kind of stuff. I'm not very comfortable on camera. Really not. You can see my setup is not geared towards giving spiritual messages. This is where I, played my games. But it's time. It's time for me to step up. It's time for me to be the person I'm here to be. It's time for me to attempt to at least accomplish that which my soul agreed to accomplish, because I haven't been doing it. And so it took a little while, but honestly, just kind of looking around, remembering what I did, didn't take very long for me to feel motivated enough to at least just put myself out there, right? I know for me that this was kind of a big hurdle, just to put myself out there and stand behind a message like this. And, back to this message that I'm talking about, this message of oneness and unity. It's a real thing, and it goes way beyond all of the BS that people are spouting, that people talk about, all the nonsense. Um, I guess if I'm being real with you guys, when I hear people talk about love, and when I would hear people talk about love and light, and just all these concepts that kind of don't really make sense in the world that we experience in duality, it kind of it kind of took me out of the message they were giving, because it feels like it just wasn't really resonating with the reality I was experiencing. Um, it's almost like, oh, well, just look at the good stuff, right? Don't focus about the bad stuff, right? Don't focus about all these people who are suffering. We're all one, but don't worry about them, right? Just focus on you. Manifest you a new car. Manifest you a new lover, right? Which is bullshit. That's not what this is about. The unity that I'm talking about is coming from a place of understanding that you truly are one with every single person. You are one identity with everyone, and we are all individual aspects of this one singular shared identity. And understanding this identity means to still be yourself. You still have your ego. You are still whoever you are. You don't erase who you are. It's not what you're supposed to do. You have an ego for a reason. Your soul chose your ego for a reason, and you are important. You have a damn important reason to be here. You should be proud that you're here. You should embrace yourself, because that's what your soul wants you to do. But can you imagine having a healthy relationship with your ego and still being able to embody equally this understanding of this absolute identity that you are? It's a perfect dance, a 50-50 dance between your ego and this identity known as the absolute. So when you're out in the world and you still have your individuality, you still have your independence, you still have your freedom of thought, you still have your sovereignty, you can look out into the world and you can understand it from a level that is beyond what anybody is currently seeing. It is from a level of looking at another and understanding you are looking at the self, because all is the self. There is nothing outside of the self. It is all the self to the absolute, which means that we are all aspects of this one singular shared identity. And again, I'm speaking right now is from my own memories, from my own experiences, is remembering being part of this absolute identity outside of time and space. And it's a lot to get into. It's a lot to share in a video that I'm trying to keep under 5 minutes here. It's already over. But basically, that's the gist of my message. And I'm going to keep sharing it. I'm going to go into it. I'm going to go into depth. I'm going to go into details about it. And I'm just going to be real with you guys. I'm going to share everything I know. I'm going to put it all out there. And I hope that this resonates with someone. I hope that this finds the people that it needs to. I imagine if you find this video, if you come across it, it's probably relevant for you, because that's just how this reality works. There's nothing that you won't come across that isn't somewhat relevant as a reflection or an experience for self-growth when you come upon it. So if you do come upon this video, that's probably a good way to look at this. But I do hope that you enjoyed this. I know it's short. I do hope to see you in the next one. Plan to go into a lot more detail on all that stuff moving forward. But I want to keep this one as sweet and short as possible. So thank you again for joining me. My name is Brian Murphy. And again, I hope to see you in the next one. See you guys.